Today I'm helping my friend and coworker Bob out with his trolling motor. It's not been working right. It's been intermittently going on and off, and then I believe he said it stopped working altogether. Is that correct?
Right, after going across the lake and hitting like a heavy chop. Once I made my way across the lake, after bouncing the hull of the boat over the water, it stopped working.
And then you got a brand new shiny one.
Yeah.
And a new switch for the foot pedal, and it's still not working correctly?
That's right. Right, so now my thought is the problem wasn't with the trolling motor, but it was with receiving power from the back end.
All right, well, we'll check it out. I don't have a lot of tools with me today, but you got a test light, it looks like, and we'll start out chasing down where there is and isn't power. This is the after-work garage.
That's the cranking. This is the trolling motor battery, the green one.
All right, so we have a green trolling motor battery here. Just make sure that we have power. So,
You need an extra hand.
oh, I'm okay. Test lights here just work by completing a circuit with a little probe, and there's a little light in there that will light up. So we'll hook up the alligator clip, make sure we have power from the battery, which we do. Light's lighting up. And the next thing we're going to do is trace down this wire. And I guess we can first see if we have power up at the trolling motor. And then if we have power up there, we don't have to worry about any of this. If we don't, we're going to have to go back and chase down where the problem is. Alright, so this looks like the prongs where the trolling motor plugs into. You can see you've done a good job just disassembling it there. So we're just going to test to see if those have power. And it looks like there's a plug right there, and we can just test the wires back here as well. So we got a lot of places to look. I have no idea what happened in my video here. Basically, I clipped the test light to one prong and touched the probe to the other, and there was no power at the power takeoff at the bow of the boat that the trolling motor plugs into. So I really doubt the problem is between this plug here and up here, but this looks like it's zip tied shut. I think it's more likely with possibly a fuse in the back, but just to be thorough, let's undo this and check the power there. Sometimes what can happen with this style clip, as you can see right in there, that ring is not complete. It's split there, and that gap can open up over time to where the outside is not making proper contact with this post. Here, let me get in focus. So this post, when it slides in, doesn't make good contact, and that can cause intermittent power delivery. All right, so we have the clip undone. Put this on here, and just touch the inside. We don't seem to get any, not getting any light there.
That's not good.
All right, so let's look farther back. All right, so what we have here is this harness, and there's what looks to be a 50 amp fuse there. I don't know why they've sealed it in there. Doesn't make much sense if you have to change it out. I just took this off. I'm gonna unwrap a little bit of this wiring harness protector just to see what's under there, and then see if we can't assess this connection here. Okay, to test this fuse, since I don't want to unwrap that whole bundle if it's unnecessary, it looks pretty protected. What we're gonna do is what Bob already did here, but just for the sake of video, we're doing a reenactment. If you wouldn't mind holding that there real quick. Since we're testing the continuity across here, we'll just clip this to the battery, the negative to the battery. And if we know we have power here, which we do, we'll slip this in and see if we have power in here. I guess we can probe into this part, which we do. So we seem to have power across this fuse, meaning that our problem is probably somewhere farther this way. All right, so with the information we have so far, it looks like our problem is going to be somewhere between the back of the boat and here, which is unfortunate because all of that's pretty hard to access, and we'll have to narrow down. There's a lot of area to narrow down. Hopefully it's not one of those breaks inside the insulation or a break really anywhere in here that we can't access easily. First thing I'm going to do is try to determine whether it's the positive or negative that is lacking continuity in it. So to do that, I'm just going to take some jumper cables and hook up one end, either positive or negative, to the battery, run it all the way up here, and then that'll allow us to get either a good positive or a good negative, and then we'll be able to see, hopefully, one of the wires is not continuous and the other one is. That won't help us narrow down where the break is, but it'll help tell us which wire it's on. Okay, so what I have is jumper cables hooked up there. Positive, positive, negative on the negative. I'm just running them the length of the boat up here. They're a little shorter than I like. So what I have at this end is a live positive and a live negative. It allows me to clip on, in this case, to the positive. And we're gonna try to complete the circuit by touching the negative cable here. Move this down, would you mind? Oh, thank you, Bob. And if I touch this, the light in fact lights up. So it looks like this negative cable is probably continuous. We're gonna clip onto the negative here. Touch the inside of the positive. And we're not getting a light. So something's causing that positive cable to be discontinuous, and since fuses and breakers are often put on the positive cable, that certainly could be the case. If you have a wiring diagram, now's the time to refer to that to see if there's any fuses or breakers that might lie on the positive between the battery and the trolling motor power takeoff, and then check those. In our case, after a good amount of searching, we couldn't find a wiring diagram either online or in hard copy, so we had to keep looking around in the boat on our own. Okay, so we're up under the console here, and it's possible there's a fuse or breaker on the way from the back of the boat up here. It looks like there's an access panel with 4 Phillips head screws. We'll just get those undone. This is going to mostly be access to the your console things, but sometimes they'll hide away fuse boxes or other things, either here or in the rod compartment, yeah, or the storage compartment in front of the console. So we'll take a look there as well. Alright, getting this panel off, it does not look like we have the trolling motor wires in here. They'd be large gauge wires running to some kind of a block, like a terminal block. Doesn't look like we have that. This is all switches and lights with a console. We do have our steering here, cable steering. Alright, so I took the control box off here to look for the trolling motor cables to see how hard it would be to either run wires or to see if there's anything obvious here. This wire bundle right here seems to be the trolling motor bundle. If I pull it this way, you can see that there's clearly a red and black wire in there. That's going to match the trolling motor wires from the back of the boat. So after looking at there, it didn't look like there were any fuses back there. I came up to the front and bow of the boat, this power panel, and was trying to see, here's our trolling motor takeoff cable. Trying to see if I could feel any other fuses or switches up here. Instead, what I found was that. That's your problem. So it looks like it was rubbing and abrading somewhere and cut right through the trolling motor wire. So it's close enough up here that we might just be able to replace that section. So we'll take a look at it. We'll need to see if we can't pull the whole harness up to get enough slack to pull this out to solder something new on. It wasn't pretty and it was a two-man job, but basically unhooked our trolling motor cable here and then stuffed it in there as far as we could and pulled from this end to get a loop out. Then we pushed that loop in, came up here and pulled on these wires to pull it up through the tunnel as far as we could. And we got it exposed enough to where we can solder on a new piece of wire or solder those back together.
It should stick the wires together, right?
Well, it should wick down the wire a little bit and cover the wire. When the wires are hot, so really what you want is to get the wires super hot. And you touch this to the wires, and then this will melt to the wire.
Yeah.
So if this were heating these wires enough, I could like just paint it on.
Right.
So why don't we leave this for now? Because I don't want to do a bad job of this. And have it,
I appreciate it. All your work.
It's pretty close.
Andrew, you saved me a lot of time.
But let's finish this
I was
off.
preparing to drag this to a trolling motor place up in Smithville tomorrow.
Well, let's finish this off later, and I can either, if you get a clamp, you can do it, or
yeah, I could get get this.
I'll bring a solder iron. Just don't let that roll on your carpet; you'll burn it.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow I'll bring a bigger, like a high-powered solder iron.
Yeah, just keep this all.
All right, so it's the next day. I brought a little more heavy-duty soldering iron. Hopefully it can put a little more heat into the wires. Some rosin core, flux core solder that'll hopefully make the solder stick to the wire a little better. As well as some shrink wraps to make things look pretty tidy. And if all else fails, we got a lot of heat. First thing I'm gonna start off by doing is cleaning up these wires. Since they're so corroded, I brought some sandpaper to do that today. Some sandpaper, just to get back to some clean copper to solder onto. Make sure to slip on these shrink wraps before you start soldering, otherwise you'll have it together and have no way to get the shrink wraps on. All right, for this I think I'm just gonna go with since I have more power to work with here, I'm gonna kind of just mesh these together. See if we can do that. That smoke that's coming off is the rosin core, and what you can see when it's falling off like that means it's not hot enough to stick to the wires. Boy, I don't know, we might have to do both sides. This is working, but slowly. It's just a really cold joint. I mean, it's conductive, so it'll work for you. I'll put a little more on this area here. See, it's not even melting the solder like a millimeter away from it. There's so much mass on there now. Okay. That should be okay. We'll call that good. And there's these little dingleberry things here because it's a cold joint that we're going to press down. Because they'll poke through the shrink wrap. Okay. I think that's good.
A lot of young people in the neighborhood. Of course, relative to me, everyone's young, you know.
What? You're not that old yet.
No. I could retire at the end of this month if I rewired. Turn her on. Push the foot pedal. Oops. Am I doing this right?
Well, there's our problem right there, Bob. Oh, we need to feed this back through
the
through the boat.
Yeah.
Let's pull it back far enough to check it out.
Okay.
We got it plugged in up here.
Yeah, it's plugged in.
All right, switch it on. Moment of truth. Oh, look at that. Oh, you want to hit it again? Maybe use the button.
Sure.
All right.
So it's got.
Well, thanks for watching. Say hi, Bob.
Bye, everyone.
And I'll catch you next time on the After Work Garage.